Alright, so in this Lightroom tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create a new infrared camera profile for editing your infrared photos. This is an updated version. In the past, we used the Adobe DNG profile editor. However, there have been some changes, and unfortunately, you can't save the profiles this way anymore. Now, we're not going to use the DNG profile editor. For this, you're actually going to need Photoshop. And additionally, if you don't have Adobe Lightroom or Adobe Photoshop, you can actually use Capture One Pro and skip this whole step entirely. Now, here is a picture I took with a Hoya R72 filter using my iPhone. And unfortunately, you can't get any cooler than what Lightroom lets you, no matter how hard you try. So if you want to edit this infrared photo, you need to first create a DNG profile. Unfortunately, if you're shooting with the iPhone, even though it is capable of shooting RAW, most of you guys are probably going to be shooting JPEG. So we're going to be creating a profile first. And if you have RAW, you can actually skip this first step. And if you don't know to shoot RAW with your iPhone, you just need any external app. Download any other app aside from the basic camera that the iPhone has, and it will give you the option to shoot RAW. But anyways, first we need to create a DNG file from this. So we're going to export, file, export. We're going to save this as a DNG file. So once you have our DNG file, we will be able to open this with Adobe Camera Raw, which is what we want in Photoshop. So export this. Now once we have our DNG file here on our screen, we are going to open Adobe Photoshop. Now the whole purpose of creating a DNG is so that you can open Adobe Camera Raw with Photoshop to save the infrared profile. As I said, if you shot RAW with your phone, whether it be Samsung, Hoya, or iPhone, if you shot RAW, you can just skip this step. So we are going to open our DNG file here in Photoshop, and that should open up Adobe Camera Raw. So it's coming up. Here we go. So this is actually quite easy. Once you have opened the image, you want to turn the temperature all the way down. So it should look something like this. I know it looks strange, that's fine. You're just trying to make it as cool as possible. Once you do that, go here to where it says presets and click. Now this should come up. There's a little square down here that says new preset. Don't press new preset because that's just going to save the presets, not the camera profile. But you want is the camera profile. So hold down Alt and then click the little square. Now you should be able to save a new camera profile, and we're going to name this infrared. Now I will push OK, but I already have a bunch of these saved, so I'm going to push cancel. But once you press OK, you should be able to use your infrared profile in Lightroom. So I'm going to click, you should click OK. As for me, I'm going to click cancel. Now you're going to go back into Lightroom and you're going to close it. And you're going to open this one more time. So now that you have opened up Lightroom once again, you're going to go to your profiles and you should have your user profiles here. Click on it and you can edit the photo in Lightroom as normal. So click on the white balance. Click on somewhere that should be white, for example, the foliage or the clouds. Once you do this, edit in Photoshop once again. I just want to point out that if you have software like Capture One, it lets you cool the picture down even further. So if you for some reason can't create a profile for infrared, you can use Capture One and you can skip this whole step entirely and just edit as normal. So you go Image, Adjustments, Channel Mixer, switch the reds and the blue. So right now red is 100, you're going to put 0, blue should be 100. Go to the blue channel, red should be 100, blue should be 0. File, save, and you can edit your infrared to your heart's content. Now I am using the Hoya R72 filter, so there is way less color than if I was using something like 590 nanometers, but that is just the limitations of using the Hoya R72 on an iPhone. Anyways, I hope you found this tutorial helpful for creating a infrared profile for Lightroom using Photoshop. I know it sucks that you cannot use the DNG profile editor anymore. Some people told me they don't have Photoshop, they can't do that. And that's just one of the things Adobe is doing to kind of pigeonhole you into buying Photoshop. And I know it sucks, but the only other option you have is to get some software like Capture One that lets you cool down the picture even more than the limitations of Lightroom. But for now, I'm sorry, and that's all we can do. So I hope you found this useful, and good luck with your infrared editing.